Okay, people. So, finally got round to watching The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Snakes, Songbirds and Snakes. Sorry. Yeah. Yes. The film, like the previous ones, other than the first, is directed by Francis Lawrence. It is written by Michael Lesslie and Michael Arndt. I think Susan Collins also helped out with the script. Not quite. That's a bit unclear. Um, the film is produced by we have got where are we? Nina Jacobson, Francis Lawrence, and Brad Simpson. It's executive produced by Mika Sato, Tim Palin, Jim Miller, and Susan Collins. It's co-produced by Christopher Fraser, Cameron McComey, Heinen Mulfenter, Christopher Surgeon, and Charlie Wolbucken. It is associate produced by Greg Capocchia. Um, line produced by Marina Rowanska. James Newton Howard took care of the music. Joe Williams, cinematography. Mark Yushakwa was down with the editing. Dylan Jury and Deborah Zane were behind the casting. Production design, we have Yuli Hanish. Art direction, there's Daniel Klur, Andrea Kessler, Forsten Klein, Kai Kuch, Laura Lesnick, Stephanie Rass, and Sarah Wibler. Set decoration, we've got Jakub Bakaswaski, Christoph Bubel, Piotr Bugak, Paul Kronecki, Elijah Honjak, Adam Rajaba, Dawid Rakowaski, Gregorios Sadowski, Sabine Schuf, and Oscar Stanowski. Trish Somerville took care of the costume design. And our cast, right? So Cornelius Snow is played by Tom Blyth, right? A younger version of Snow is played by Dexter Sol Ansel. Where else do we have? Snow's cousin Tigress is played by Hunter Shafar. We've also got his grandmother, played by Fanula Flanagan, right? So Lucy Gray Baird is played by Rachel Zegler. There is Viola Davis as Dr. Volumia Gaul. Peter Dinklage is Casca Highbottom. Jason Schwartzman is Lucretius Lucky Flickerman. And we have Bern Gorman as Commander Hoof. Also, Josh Andreas Riviera is Sejanus Plinth, Snow's kind of best friend, essentially. We have got Rosa Gutzler is a younger tigress in the film at the beginning. Ashley Leah is Clemencia Duvacott, another classmate of Snow. So is Festus Creed, played by Max Rafe. And Listerius Vickers, played by Zoe Rennie. Felix Ravenstiel, played by Amir Hussan. Arcana Crane, played by Lily Cooper. Pup Harrington, played by Aomid Adigon. And this Vip Sania Sickle, played by Emil Hufla. All right. Nick Benson is Jessup, right? Lucy Gray's companion, the male tribute, as it were. Where am I? We've got Coral, the District 4 tribute, played by Mackenzie Lansing. The other District 4 one, Mizzen, is played by Cooper Dillon. District 7 tribute, so Tretch, played by Hiroshi Burkloff. And Lamina, played by Irene Boehm. We've got District 10, Tanner, played by Kajel Brustut. And Brandy, played by Luna Koos. District 2, there's Marcus, played by Jerome Lance. And yeah, I think that's all we've got. Who else is there? Reaper, District 11, played by Dimitri Abold. And Deal, played by Luna Steeples. So there we go. Right, the gist of the story is this, right? It's following Cornelius Snow, years before he would become the tyrannical president of Panem. He is young, very determined, and though the Snow family has fallen on hard times, Cornelius sees a chance for a change in his fortunes when he is chosen to be a mentor for the 10th Hunger Games, only to have his elevation dashed when he is assigned to mentor a girl tribute named Lucy Gray Baird from the impoverished District 12. So this is set 64 years before the first Hunger Games. All right. Now, it's always tricky with a prequel because you know essentially where we end up, right? It is very hard. I thought Rogue One has to be one of the best, right? I think Rogue One has to be one of the best because it's, you know, we end with Star Wars, but we don't necessarily know how. But also, you've never heard of any of these people. So you're thinking, how are they going to do it? So the way it all went down was tremendous. I thought it was great. With this one, so we know Snow is a bad man in the original trilogy. So it's just like, how are we getting there? Because obviously the way it starts off, Snow's not bad, right? Now, I thought the first Hunger Games was pretty good. Very young adult book, right? The love triangle component was just like, do we have to? But other than that, book and film, I thought were pretty decent. After that, it did feel like, I mean, we are rummaging for ideas to stretch out a story. But I was intrigued by the prequel. I'd heard some decent things, so it was like, how do we do this? I thought the look, the look of the film, it looks very good, right? It looks very good. All of those components were handled very well. And we got a good cast, right? We got a good cast involved, you know? Um, I think everyone is kind of promising, right? We've got our staples, right? Viola Davis, we got Peter Dinklage, you have those people. Um, and the others, right? There's other people that are known and have done good things in the past, Jason Schwartzman, Fanula Flanagan, right? Uh, Bern Goldman. But the rest, they're up and comers, right? Well, I mean, they've been in plenty of things, but they're still not huge names. But, always potential. So I felt everyone handled themselves pretty well. I think with this, I think it's the story, which on paper, right, it's fine. The story is fine. Where the issue kind of, for me, comes from is, I think in the first Hunger Games, you had more of a sense of the other tributes. So it was always just like, oh, that tribute is really good with the bow and arrow. So it could be a problem. They do have a heart. So maybe what could happen? Oh, where are we going? Now with this one, we don't really know any of the other tributes, right? So there's no consequence, right? There's no trepidation. You're not fearing or worrying or hoping for alliances or anything like that. And also, they essentially have the tributes do what the tributes do in the first Hunger Games. I mean, let's band together, let's form a group, it's just doing that, right? But why? That's the other big thing. It's just like, oh, why would they band behind this person? We don't know. We don't go. We don't care. And with Cornelius's classmates, again, we don't really know them. So it lacks that empathy. The only one we kind of get a sense for is Sejanus, right? That's really the only one. There is there is the girl that he's friends with, and she kind of stabs him in the back at the start. I cannot remember which one that was though. And yeah, it's just a bit like mm, doesn't we kind of get to know those two, but still not that much. So it feels a little bit empty. We have this vast landscape, some interesting characters, but it's all surface level. It's all superficial. Yeah, we know nothing else. It's like we've got the Schwartzman's character, right? Lucky. He's the first television host, but why him? He's a weatherman as well, like a magician. Like, but what does that mean? Right? Why? Why do I care? We've got this feud between Highbottom and the Snows, but it's only at the very end that we get some sort of inkling into what that was. That's it. Right? So all the things that Highbottom is doing, it's just like, why? right? So you remove a lot of the pairing, a lot of like the caring from it. You know, with people just like, I mean, why? Why is he doing this? Why? Why do we care? Yeah. And that was the big problem, right? You know, those kind of things. It's like, why are Snow and Lucy kind of enamored with each other? Again, it just feels a bit of a stretch. It's like, oh, we've got a boy character, we've got a girl character. What can we do here? You know, it's just that they want to make these strong female characters, but they don't imbue them with anything. That's the problem, right? There's nothing. And that's a real shame because when you first enter this film, you think there is promise here, right? You think there's promise, but you know, they don't really do anything with the tigress character. You know, she's like she features in Mockingjay, but you know, not really in this. So it's just she felt very insubstantial, right? And that's just it. That's like coming away from this film. A lot of things feel a little insubstantial. The ending is very like going the very end, right? It feels very compressed. Because it's just like, oh, we go from this one moment to then suddenly this huge 180. And you're just like, I mean, the reasoning we're given, fair. Although you do wonder, I mean, surely that would have been mentioned. By the way, this is here too, so we can do a thing, right? And then, like, you hear but then there's nothing. So you're just like, I mean, why would there be you know what I mean? Like, and then nothing. It's all, I don't know. It's all a little odd. And then characters who have understanding of certain things then don't seem to consider the possibility of any sort of betrayals or in mistrusts or anything like that. So it does, we do feel like we're stretching a lot. But I probably would say if you really enjoyed Catching Fire and the Mockingjay films, then Songbirds and Snakes will work for you. You know, I think you know, they will, you know, continue your enjoyment of the districts and all of that kind of jazz, right? You get to see how it all essentially starts. So, The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is available on all VODs. I checked it on Prime Video UK. So yeah, you can, you know, wherever you have access, you'll find it. So boom, people, if you enjoy, as I say, if you enjoyed Catching Fire and Mockingjay, then this one is all you. Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.